Hello and welcome, my fellow dinos. Josh here with Jurassic Impact, and I'm sorry guys, I haven't been doing too much voice overs lately. I did a stream yesterday, my throat's hurting, I've been a little bit under the weather, but I didn't care because I had to make this video. Excuse me, major changes have come to Duel Links. Now of course none of these changes will take place until January. Unfortunately, I don't know why Konami always makes these changes like a month later, which is always just weird and just makes no sense to me. But either way, I am very happy with what Konami did with some things and a little bit on the fence with others, but nonetheless they did some crazy things. We're gonna go over it. Basically we got skill changes to character skills, as well as a certain deck got nerfed again, and I don't think a lot of us are complaining. Alright, so January 9th, 2018. Expected date for Forbidden Limited List implementations. Actually, I take that back. I thought that said January 29th at first glance, but it says January 9th. That is literally in like what, 11, well, about 20. Okay, yeah, so it's still quite a while. It's like what, 20 days or something. So yeah, I guess it still is quite a while. But the skill rebalancing doesn't take effect till the 24th, which is over 30 days away. I don't know why Konami always takes so long to do those things. Why, Konami? Like, Jesus. So if you guys like to play certain decks, you might as well play them now while you still can, because a lot of decks are going to be very unusable or very not as consistent, I should say, here by, you know, end of next month. But anyways, let's get to the good stuff. So we have skill rebalancing and Forbidden Limited List implementation details. Now here's the big thing for a lot of us. Cyber Angels are getting super hit. So now semi-limited, only two cards from the semi-limited list can be included in your deck. So yes, Cyber Angel Dakini finally got hit with the semi-limited, and so did Machine Angel Ritual. This is good news. Very, very good news. So now Cyber Angels won't be as consistent because now they're limited on how many times they can use Dakini. And let's be honest, Cyber Angels breathe life only because of what Dakini can do. If you take Dakini out of the equation, Cyber Angels really are not a formidable deck any longer. So the fact that Cyber Angel Dakini has now been limited to, down to 2 basically, is a very, very good thing and a good step forward for trying to balance this game to be a little bit better, because this meta really is terrible. It's boring. It's way, way worse than 3-star Demotion when it first came out, or Heartbeat's Hunting Ground when it was a big thing. I mean, this is just terrible. The meta that we've had the last couple months have just been garbage, and I'm glad that this is finally happening. So yes, this is the second nerf to kind of come to Cyber Angel, so that's really, really good. That's big, big news, and I'm sure a lot of you are excited. Unless you're, of course, a Cyber Angel only player, then, well, tough shit. Alright, now we go on to the other good juicy stuff. Skill rebalancing. So the skills that are being hit on January 24th are 3-star Demotion again, Destiny Draw, Restart, Middle Age Max, and finally Mayan Skin. Now guys, if you watch my channel, you'll know that I actually called this. I've been trying to grab my third Phoenix for quite a while, and I finally got it in stream. So for you guys that were watching that yesterday, that was pretty cool to actually see that happen live. Usually I don't get the URs that I need in a box live, so that was pretty cool to do that. But anyways, because I've been saying, you know what, I think Phoenix is going to make a big comeback. And, well, I'll be damned. That just might happen because a lot of these skills are getting nerfed. Opening the doors, I guess you could say opening the floodgates, see that pun I put there, to allow us to use more decks, and that's a good thing. That's all I wanted in Duel Links, was to be able to use a vast amount of decks to make the game fun, because this should not be condoned like the TCG. It's only like the best 2-3 decks can only be ran, otherwise you can't climb. That's the TCG. This is Duel Links. Duel Links should have been treated a whole lot differently, and I'm glad that it's gonna at the very least be more balanced than it was previously. So we'll see where it goes in the future with other decks coming, especially with that new box set that I dropped the leaks for earlier on the channel. But yeah, But anyways, basically all of Bastion's skills are on this list as well. Mighty as fire, quick as the wind, silent as water, Firm as Earth. And then we got Destiny Calling, where the heroes dwell, in Miracle Fusion Time. So we're going to talk about the actual changes to all these skills real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up. So 3-star emotion. I'm sure that and Mayan Skin are probably the two biggest. A lot of you are probably wondering what was changed, and is it bad, is it good, what's it going to do? Well, 3-star emotion, which is probably one of the bigger ones to talk about here, is this skill will only be usable once per duel. Guess what? Ninjas just took a big slap to the face with this, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And only when you have 1,000 or less life points remaining. Now keep that in mind. That's only for that. There is a second part here, and it's very interesting. A lot of people are overlooking this. I've even seen a lot of people reading this back and completely overlooking this and already complaining, well, 3-star emotion is just completely dead, it's completely useless. No, there is a good use for it, and it's going to be possibly the best farm skill in the game now. I think this may be the best farm skill, period. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, you can only use it once per duel, and if you have 1,000 or less with other monsters, right? Except for one kind. The 3 Gate Guardians. One of them being Sujin, that we used to use way back in the day, back when Mega was hot stuff. He's going to be revitalizing his career, basically. He's come back. He got rehired to the firm. He's now going to become an executive, and he's going to possibly be a meta deck. And aka, oh well, I guess slash farm deck as well. Very good farm deck. So you got the 3 Gate Guardians, which is pretty cool. So you got Songa, you got Suijin, of course, and Kazujin. Now, this is crazy because this skill can be used on members of the Gate Guardian trio, like I just said, at any time, regardless of life points. That is amazing, because it does not state that requires a life point cost. I'm not even so sure, the way they word it's a little bit weird, but I'm not so sure if the skill is still only usable once per turn with the Gate Guardians, or if it's still once per duel. So I guess we'll have to play test that or get better verification, but it's kind of weird how they word it, because it's like you got the skill used this way, but then for the Gate Guardians the skill is used this way. So it's like the 1,000 or less life points affects other monsters, except for the Gate Guardians. They can use any life points. You can have 4,000, use it 1 life point, you can still use it. But I'm still on the fence. Is it still once per turn? I guess that'll be once per duel. That's really going to be the deciding factor if that skill is still going to be usable. But even then, just being able to throw a Gate Guardian onto the field, no matter what your life points are, still could be a very, very, very good farm deck. We'll see. It could possibly be a deck as well. I don't know. Otherwise, 3-star emotion got hit hard, and I don't even care. All right, let's moving on to Destiny Draw. When choosing a card to draw from the deck, cards will be sorted as the same order in the deck editor, which is a really funny way to just say they'll be reshuffled. So you're not gonna be able to sit there and just copy down your decks, your cards one after another, like on a notepad or something like that, for example. So yeah. And hopefully because of that, it'll lessen the amount of time people take when they're doing Destiny Draw, because they'll just sit there and look through cards for like 20 minutes trying to memorize them. Well, no longer will that matter. So that's a pretty good nerf on Destiny Draw, but still not really that severe, because most of the time when I use Destiny Draw, I very rarely even use the whole memorizing thing. I would like look at the 2 or 3 cards that are coming up, and that's about it. So I guess really that's the only difference it's going to be. Now Restart is getting a big nerf. Now, a lot of people are looking at this like this nerf isn't too bad, but when you really think about it, it's huge. There will be a 20-second time limit on deciding whether to restart. That's not a big deal. You know, if you're taking longer than that to just decide if the 4 or 5 cards in your hand are good enough or not, then you got some problems. However, the second nerf that it's getting is the big one. If you do indeed choose to restart your hand, your opponent now will be able to see all the cards in your hand. And why is this important? Because now your opponent knows what kind of deck you are running, and you do not know what deck they are running. So you now have an advantage of knowing at the very least what type of deck you're up against, and that is huge. That is huge. So now we got middle-age mechs, which I was never sure that middle-age mechs really needed a nerf, but they gave one anyway, which is very weird. But Ancient Gear Castle will be activated at the start of your first turn instead of the start of the duel. So now you won't get that free Ancient Gear Beast off, basically. Because now if your opponent summons a monster on their first turn, you're not going to get that counted as a counter. So you're not going to be able to use that towards summoning, you know, a one tribute monster. It's just, it won't work like that now. So now if you're playing middle-aged mechs, you're probably hoping that you're going first almost every duel. So that's going to be something, but I'm not sure it really needed that, but hey, it's something. Alright, I'm sorry if this is just moving funny. Alright, let me grab it. Here we go. So Mayan Skin, this is another big one. A lot of you are probably wondering what are they going to do with it. And I said the 3-star demotion, and I told you guys the 3 ways they could have nerfed it, and they nerfed it one of those 3 ways. So I'm kind of just going to say I'm a good prognosticator right there, and just say I called it, I told you so. All the doubters can now quit doubting. This skill will activate from the 3rd turn. The required remaining life points will not change. So you still will be at 3,000 life points. If you go below that, you won't be able to use Mayan Skin at all. But now here's where it's challenging. If you are going to be running even the newly nerfed Cyber Angels or even a control deck, you now will not know what your opponent is doing for the first 3 turns of the entire duel. So if they're talking about 3rd turn, your 3rd turn, or 3rd turn overall, that's going to be really the difference maker. But if they're talking your 3rd turn, that's even bigger of a nerf. But if it's 3rd turn in general, like if you go first, I go, and then you go again, you know, that's not as big, because then you're basically only missing out on like what, the the first turn, like that's it. So I mean, it really depends how big the nerf is going to be in that regard. But even then, if you're playing Cybers, we're not going to be able to just get that awesome hand right off the bat, because now they're going to be very weary of your back row because they cannot see it. So for at least the first turn of your opponent, they're not going to be able to see your back row, and that's kind of a big hit. I was hoping for a bigger hit than that, though. I was hoping that you could only use the skill like once a duel, you know, just see your back row, or after you lose 2,000 life points, then you can see your back row, something like that. But hey, it's still a nerf nonetheless. We'll see if they revisit that again. We now know that Konami has the balls to actually nerf skills more than once, so in decks, so that's pretty cool. At least they're showing some guts here. Alright, Miracle Fusion time has now been bumped up to where now you only need 1,000 or less, so that helps it a little bit, but I still don't see anybody using that skill, to be honest. Where the heroes dwell in Destiny Calling, now this is very cool. 3,000 life points or less now instead of 2,000 is a huge deal, because you no longer do not have to force yourself to eat a freaking mirror wall to activate those skills. You no longer have to force yourself to take a big hit. Now you can just use like a Cyclone or something like that. You just take 1,000 damage, take a back row with you, and activate your skill next turn. This could make heroes and Destiny heroes pretty decent in the future. This is what I like to call future proofing. I feel like that's what Konami just did. They basically just future proofed making elemental heroes and Destiny heroes hopefully decent very soon, or maybe right now, depending on what kind of deck builds people are going to come up with when these skills get their buff. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see. I think February is going to be a very interesting month for the meta, because that's when all these changes are basically going to be implemented for that season. So it's going to be pretty crazy February. Now, Firm as Earth, Water, you know, all those skills. We also got, of course, Quick as Wind and Mighty as Fire. All those skills getting bumped up to 3,000 is also a big deal, because all of those field spell skills that you get from outside your deck boost your monsters of that typing by 500. And you only got to lose 1,000 life points to have it activate. Damn! Like I said, another situation where you just use a Cyclone, take out a back row, and boom, now you got a free 500 boost all your monsters. That is huge. Guys, this just made Mako completely irrelevant. And why you ask? Silent as Water will now completely replace Mako. Why would you even use Mako's field spell skill at this point when you can just use Silent as Water and get a 500 boost just for a minimal, you know, a minuscule 1,000 life points for a 500 boost everything? That is big. Silent as Water is going to be the new Mako deck. They basically just made Mako useless because of that boost. That is a big, big buff. Guys, in a 4,000 meta game, or I'm sorry, a 4,000 format game, and you are now letting people use skills with only taking 1,000 instead of 2,000 is a huge deal. So, I mean, these skill changes are, a lot of them are great. Some of them I'm kind of like, okay, maybe they could have done more, or maybe they did too much. I don't know, but I'm liking the skill changes. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the meta is going to look in February now. And I'm definitely glad that Dakini crap is hopefully going to get shot in the foot pretty hard starting on the 9th of next month. So that's going to be awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry my voice sounds like absolute crap. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I hope you guys enjoy. Comment below what you guys think about all these changes. I'm definitely curious to see what you guys say. Make sure you join us in our Discord as well in the description below. We got a big thing coming for Duel Links, especially if you guys like doing tournaments. We got a big one coming very soon. So if you want to hear more about that, I will have a video coming out soon, as well as you can only join that if you're in the Discord. So make sure you join that. Also subscribe if you're new, of course. We're pushing to 7,000 now. We're at 6,500, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, make sure you drop a like on the video as well. And until next time, peace.